Welcome and thanks for joining Basingstoke Salvation Army's daily devotional, Battle Drill, with Lieutenant Rob. For more information, please head to basingstokesalvationarmy.semen.net/battle drill.
Hello, and welcome along to another week of Battle Drill Daily Devotionals. This week we continue the demanding work of selecting reverse to move forward, breaking free from the destructive patterns of our past and living out the purpose God has for our lives. The story of Joseph gives us a practical biblical example of finding freedom from our family life scripts. So this week our passage is Genesis chapter 45, verses 1 to 15, and today we're going to read it from the New Living Translation. Joseph reveals his identity. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you." So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loudly the Egyptians could hear him, and word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. "Please, come closer," he said to them. So they came closer. And he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset, and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither ploughing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive, and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you, and he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace and the governor of all Egypt. Now hurry back to my father and tell him, 'This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt, so come down to me immediately. You can live in the region of Goshen, where you can be near me with all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds and everything you own. I will take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise you, your household and all your animals will starve.' Then Joseph added, 'Look, you can see for yourselves, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I really am Joseph. Go tell my father of my honoured position here in Egypt. Describe for him everything you have seen, and then bring my father here quickly.' Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin did the same. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers and wept over them, and after that they began talking freely with him." Amen. God clearly has something to teach us through the story of Joseph. His story takes up 25% of the book of Genesis. It's clearly important. Many of us will know the story from our days in Sunday school or through singing about his dazzling coat of many colours. But Joseph's story is about someone who lived in a family of great brokenness and sadness, stretching back over generations, and yet who managed to grow up into an emotionally and spiritually mature adult. Joseph belonged to what we call today a blended family. He was the 11th of 12 sons born to his father Jacob. He lived with his father, his 2 wives and his 2 concubines, and his 11 brothers, all under one roof. It becomes clear that in this maelstrom of complex family relationships, Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children. Not surprisingly, his brothers were jealous and couldn't say a kind word to him. Poor Joseph didn't help himself either. He comes across as immature and arrogant. Joseph has a dream, but as he recounts it to his brothers, in his telling, the brothers begin to hate him even more. In the end, they decide to fake his death at the hands of a wild animal and sell him into slavery in Egypt, hoping they'd heard the last of him. Joseph's family was marked by a pattern of lying, half-truths, secrecy and jealousy. Joseph's father, grandfather and great-grandfather were all guilty of perpetuating this pattern. Joseph's brothers took this to another level altogether. Through his brother's scheming, Joseph lost his parents, his brothers, his culture, and his freedom in one day. While serving as a slave in Egypt, he is falsely accused of rape by the wife of his master Potiphar and sent to prison. Joseph should have been filled with bitterness and pain for all he had been through, but he remains a faithful seeker and lover of God. Even as his circumstances swirl out of control, the Bible describes Joseph as a man walking with God. What about us? Are we willing to break free from any bad patterns of behaviour our families may have taught us? Are we willing to select reverse to move forward and walk with God? If we are, then like Joseph, we can be a blessing to our family and those around us. As you think about that today, why not think about these two questions? Do you have traumatic losses in your past or your present? And how might they affect who you are today? And I hope to see you again soon for another battle drill.
We hope you've been encouraged and equipped by this daily devotional. Why not find us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube by searching for Basingstoke Salvation Army? And join us again soon for another battle drill. God bless you.